Morning, guys. Happy Monday to you. Hope all you people are doing well and had a good weekend. This week we're going to start moving into some other three-dimensional items and some other functions of three-dimensional software. See if I can adjust this screen a little bit without losing you. A little to the left, a little to the right. All good. We're going to be working on revolutions, the act of revolving a sketch around an axis. If you're watching this video, the intent is that you have Inventor, Autodesk Inventor Professional 2018 downloaded at home. If you're using Fusion 360 or you're using Onshape, please close out this video and go to whichever video it is that you need so that you can follow along with that video and see what it is that, how to do what it is I'm asking you to do. Okay, so to save a little bit of time, I've got Autodesk Inventor 2018 Professional opened up already on the screen here, as you can see. Since we're working from our home computer, we're saving to our own laptop. You're saving it wherever your mom and dad said to, or wherever it is that you're archiving your files to on your computer. So we don't have to worry about the projects for the home page here. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And I'm back to a blank screen here with Inventor. Alright. So what I'm going to do is go to New. And I'm going to click on New. Choose a standard IPT for a standard Inventor part. And click Create. And then I'll wait for it to catch up with me. Okay, the following style definitions in template C, blah, 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 differ from the definitions in the style library. It's okay, it doesn't bother me one bit. The standard default for ANSI, again, ANSI being the American National Standards Institute for 3DA, I don't care. This is going to work just fine for us for what we're doing. I click OK on that, and we is good to go. So I've got a new part window opened up here. I'm going to come up. Oh, there we go. I'm going to click and drag this to the left so I can see my view cube, my navigation bar. I can then maximize that. I'm trying to expand on this a little bit. It keeps moving on me. And that annoys me. Hold on one sec. Man. I guess that's as good as I'm going to get it. Alright. Next thing I'm going to have to do is create a sketch. Coming over to the upper left hand corner in the tool ribbon. Start 2D sketch, and as you can see, I can see my XY plane, my YZ plane, my XZ plane. I want to sketch on my front view. So I'm clicking on that, and you'll see it automatically reverted me to a perpendicular view of the front of the view cube. And that's because it's always easier to draw in a perpendicular view than it is on an angle. Say like this. Very difficult to draw when your paper is on an angle from you. So it's much easier to look straight on, perpendicular. So when I'm talking about this revolution feature, what we're talking about doing is, what would that look like? Let's think of something that's revolved. Let's talk about a donut. All right. How would I create a donut? Well, if I was to draw a donut, I would draw a circle, draw a line underneath of the circle, and then revolve that circle around that line, using that line as an axis to spin that circle all the way around. And that would give me a 3D shape that looks like an inner tube or a donut, all right? So what I'm going to start by doing here, I'm going to come up to my tool ribbon, I'm going to click on line, and I'm going to come down to the vertical, or rather the center horizontal line. Click once, move my mouse to the right, I don't know, about 8 inches here I guess. Really doesn't matter how long this is. Now I'm going to hit escape on the keyboard one time to get out of the line drawing function. So I can see I have my green line here now. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a wheel. This is with the intent that this is something we would use for the train project. We would normally do this, and I would give you a sketch. I'm going to give you a sketch to create it. But right now, I want to walk you through this, and I want you to create this one time. So the next thing I'm going to do, come up to my tool ribbon, to the 2-point rectangle, to create a rectangle using 2 points from opposite corners. I'm going to come down here, close to the horizontal line, on the vertical line. Click once, come up. Now, as you can see, my dimension for my width of this rectangle is highlighted in blue. I'm going to type in 0.25 on my keyboard for a 1/4 inch. Hit the tab button so I'm on height. I've got the height of the box. I'm going to type 1 inch, or just 1. Then hit enter on the keyboard. Okay. Let me zoom in on that so it's a little easier to see. Okay. So here's my 1 inch by 1/4 inch rectangle. And I need to set the distance from the line to the bottom of the rectangle. That distance will be half of the diameter of the hole. So I need to come up here to the tool ribbon, to the dimension, general dimension tool, to place a dimension between that rectangular box and that line. And I want the hole in the wheel to be a 1/4 inch. So this in essence is the radius. So I'm going to set it to be 0.25 divided by 2, which will be 0.125. Okay. Now the next thing I want on this is I want the top of this wheel rounded. I want it to be round. So the next thing we're going to do is go up to the circle tool in the toolbar. Click the down arrow. I'm going to choose center point circle. I'm going to come up back over to the top of my rectangle and find the center point. As you can see right this second, there's a dotted line running from my mouse or my cursor up to the top. That is a prompt. It's saying, hey, you're on the center of this. Is this what you're looking for? I see you're using a center point circle. You looking for the center? I am. So I'm going to move up to there, click, and then I'm going to come down to the edge or that corner and click there. So what I have now is a circle that the diameter is the same width as that rectangle. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is come up to the tool ribbon and use the trim tool, which is a pair of scissors. This trims a curve to the nearest intersecting line, or cuts out the extra geometry that we don't need. So I'm clicking on that, coming back over here, clicking off the bottom of the circle, and then I'm cutting out, it won't let me do that. It says the curve being extended, trimmed, or dimension has a dimension. I got to remove the dimension first. So I click cancel, and I think it's referring to both my width and height. Sorry about that. Not sure what that caused. So I'm going to come over here, click on the 0.25 width, click on it, hit the delete button on the keyboard, come down to the 1 inch, and I can right click and choose delete, or I can hit delete on the keyboard. Either way, I've relaxed those constraints. Now, I haven't changed the size of that. I've just removed that numeric constraint right now. What that'll allow me to do is to come back over to the trim function, click on those scissors, and now get rid of the rest of that line. So I've got one big open profile there, okay, with no intersecting loops. The next thing I'm going to do is come back over here to my rectangle, 2-point rectangle. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Go back over to my 2-point rectangle, and now I'm finding the center again, and it's a little bit down below the top of the center point of the circle at the top. Clicking once, coming down, not all the way down to the bottom, but I'm coming over to the left hand side and clicking again. Now what I'm going to do is dimension from the center point of that circle to the top of that smaller rectangle. I'm going to set that to be 0.1 inch. And I'm going to click on the bottom of that rectangle, move down, and then click on the bottom of the larger rectangle, and then dimension that to be 0.1 inch. Okay? Alright, the next thing I need to do is to come back up to the trim tool, move back over, and I'm going to have to click on that line twice because there's actually 2 lines there. Now what I have is a reverse C, or it looks like a Pac-Man face if you want. I'm going to go ahead, click Finish Sketch, and let me get that centered. Come over to my View Cube and click on the blue house. And then I'm going to come up to the tool ribbon and find the revolve feature to create a feature or a body by revolving the sketch around an axis. Click on that. So looking at the revolve window, it wants me to choose a profile. So I'm clicking on the sketch we just drew. All right. And I'm going to switch over here to the axis, click on that, and I'm going to choose this line. Because if I don't choose the line, if I click, I can choose the bottom of the sketch, but there's no hole in it. So that does me no good. So that's why I need to choose this profile. And then for the axis, I need to have a line spaced away from our sketch. That gives us the hole. Since that distance was a half of a quarter inch, or 0.125, that's going to leave us with a 1/4 inch hole we can put a 1/4 inch screw or bolt into. Click OK. I can click around now. You can see what this wheel looks like. Okay, and we're going to do some more to that. But my concern for today's assignment, is for you to create this with the dimensions that I gave you. Of course, when you get done with this, I want you to take your cell phone and take a couple pictures of it from a couple different angles so I can see it, and or use screen control print screen to get some images, and put them in a Google Doc and name the Google Doc wheel. Then share it with me so I can grade you. And this is what I'm looking to get done today, guys. This is today's assignment. You got any problems? Let me know. I can either answer them, or you can Google Autodesk Inventor 2018. How do I do a revolution or whatever? If not, you and I will figure out a way for me to get the tutoring to you to get this done. Sounds good. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.